Well, hey, today is our quality response lesson, and you will be doing the quality response activity after you watch this video if you missed class. If you were here for class, you probably don't need to watch this video, although you can, but you can use the slides to complete the activity. It will reference these slides in the question. So as well as completing a quality response, we want you to find out the answer to the question too. So today we're talking about quality responses in high school. And you may have guessed that it's going to be different than middle school. We expect more. You're capable of more, so we know you can do it. We're going to give you the skills and the tools to make sure that your response to questions in high school is going to show that you know exactly what you've learned and you can rephrase it. So the next slide talks about the agenda for today. Obviously, watching this video, if you missed class today, remember that the expectation for distance learning is that you need to be in class. If there's a Google Meet, it's for a good reason. I'm not just wasting time. It's important that you're here so that we can get your reading scores to go up and your ability to write what you know to go up as well. And so we're going to complete the quality response Schoology assignment after this video. You can use the slides though, and there's a link to the slides in the questions. So our learning targets today are: I can be an active member of my classroom community. I can write in complete sentences. I can correctly use capitals and end punctuation, which ironically we didn't use here. And I can use a prompt to formulate my answer. We in class wrote on our Google Slides, and so that is no longer an option. As I put up here, that this was completed during class, so there's no more editing allowed for slides 3 and 4. People were to respond with, why do you think writing a quality response is important? And this one tells it right here pretty well, so that people will know what you were trying to tell them. Or so people know what you were trying to say. I think that was supposed to say. 4 things that are needed in a quality response. So these are the checklists you're going to use today when doing the activity. First, you need to use wording of the question in your answer. So you need to restate the question so that that's a part of your answer, so that if someone reads it, they know what question you're answering without even if it got separated from the question, they would know. Use complete sentences. Number 2, use complete sentences or thoughts. If you were in this class last try, I noticed in the thought question that it would be part of a thought, but it wasn't completed, and I wasn't sure what you were trying to say. And I'm not a mind reader. I wish I was. Number 3, use a capital letter to begin sentences. This is a formal way of writing that helps people understand when one thought pauses or stops and the next one begins. And same with number 4, use a period to end the sentence. This tells us to take a pause before we go on to the next thought. Without periods, it just is all a run-on sentence, and I'm not sure what goes with what. So this is a way to organize your thoughts. Also, it helps us take a pause. That period signifies pause. Okay, now what does the next sentence say? If the direction is asked, if a direct question is asked, copy the words from the question into your answer. For example, what is your greatest strength? My greatest strength is. So you took these words in here and you just rephrase them to make it part of your sentence to answer the question. Obviously, you would finish the question, but that's an example of how to reuse the question in your answer. Here's another one. How does the author use foreshadowing to create suspense? The author uses foreshadowing to create suspense by, or to create suspense when, obviously that would be related to English. If a prompt tells you what to do, use keywords that match what you need to do. In other words, if it's about summarizing, and I've said that this isn't my favorite starting, but it does the trick. This article is about. Or if it was specific, like our trampoline article from last try, the trampoline article Bounce Back is about, okay? Compare and contrast A and B. We compared and contrast positive and negative self-talk last try, so you could use that for A and B to make it more specific. Positive and negative self-talk are similar because blah, 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 whatever the article said. Positive and negative self-talk are different because whatever the article said. State your opinion about social media or whatever your article would be about or your topic would be about. My opinion about blank is, or if it was the social media article, my opinion about teens and social media is, and then explain your thinking. I thought this because. So if it's not a question, you would, use what they're asking and phrase it in your answer. So use complete sentences or thoughts. One word answers is what you should avoid. And this slide 8 will come back in the questions today. Avoid incomplete thoughts. So confidence. What is your greatest strength? Confidence. Boo. That's only a one word answer. How does the author use foreshadowing? Describes the knife in detail before a murderer uses it. Boo. Not a complete sentence. These are just action thoughts. And it doesn't, if it said, he describes the knife in detail before the murderer uses it, period, that would be a complete sentence, but you wouldn't have rephrased it. You need to say, the author uses foreshadowing by describing the knife in detail. So that would be a way to fix that. And in the next slide, we're going to know exactly how to fix them. What is your greatest strength? So we want to use complete sentences. My greatest strength is confidence, period. Yay, quality response. How does the author, I scooted ahead. How does the author use foreshadowing? The author uses foreshadowing when she describes the knife in detail before the murderer uses it, period. Boom. You rephrase the question and you made it a complete thought. Always use capitals for professional, academic, or formal writing. My greatest strength is, well, we don't even know if this is the beginning of something or you missed some of the beginning words. So that's a boo. How does the author use foreshadowing? No capital T there on the author uses foreshadowing. Here's a better way. Capital M, my greatest strength is, and then obviously you'd finish that. Capital T, the author uses foreshadowing. So this is the start of your answer. It's clear to us. Always use a period to make your sentences clear, professional, and understandable. Again, it makes sense in your head what different thoughts there are in your answer, but it is unclear to the reader what thoughts go together if there's no period to separate sentences. My greatest strength is confidence. Boo, there's no period there. So I don't know if you're missing words or what happened. The author uses for it, and so you just left off the period. Well, that's easily fixed. Add a period at the end of your thought. So this is another one that you'll see in today's activity, a quality response. There are two reasons why a quality response is important. It helps the reader understand what you're trying to say. It's a formal and professional way to communicate clearly. If you cannot communicate clearly what you've learned, it's like you haven't learned it. And so then a teacher or somebody isn't sure that you're capable, when in reality, you're probably very capable, as I know you are. It's just that you aren't able to put that into words. And so we're going to work on that. If you are using a talk to text for your iPad, you're going to want to dictate that period in there. And I know they have those for cell phones. So I'm assuming there's a talk to text iPad that has that ability is, I guess, the word I want to use. So slide 14, this will come in handy when you're doing the activity that you're going to do next. So complete the quality response assignment in Schoology. Use the 4 rules of a quality response, okay? So use the question as part of the answer, rephrase it. What was the second one? I'll have to go up here to remember what order they go in. Use complete sentences or thoughts. Use a capital letter to begin the sentence and a period to end it, all right? So green light, red light, and then make sure it's a complete thought that restates the question so that we know what we're doing. All right, so that is the last slide today. You are going to use these slides. You can have 2 windows open, Schoology and this Google slide, hopefully. Just keep it in the non-presenting mode. And then you can see that the slides are numbered And so if they aren't numbered, I think for the ones with the answers, I definitely, ooh, maybe not with this one. Um, I definitely wrote slide 8 or slide 14 because I'll reference the slide number in the question. Just remember that the purpose of this is not just to get the answer right, which is what you should avoid, but is to use the 4 steps of a quality response in your answer. We're practicing our quality response. So it's like the matrix. We're practicing our quality response in a quality response activity. So you've got this.